10 to 7 on a pretty Sunday morning across the area. We have a mostly clear sky along the Front Range. The wind so far has been light and the temperatures are comfortably cool, generally in the 50s. Right now 52 degrees at Northgate and Bass Pro Road, looking back towards Mount Herman and the Monument area. A couple of clouds floating around over the mountains, but those are few and far between at the moment. 59 degrees right now in Pueblo West, also with a nice calm wind, and looking straight up the sky is mostly clear, but you see a few clouds here and there across the area. Probably just some leftover stuff from the monsoon flow, which will try to get some storms going out in western Colorado again this afternoon. We'll keep them up here over the mountains. The other area that we'll keep an eye on will be the southeastern corner of the state, because we do have some low-level moisture that could support some storms, as we had yesterday. Actually had one pretty good storm that rolled off into Kansas, produced some decent-sized hail on the far eastern plains. So that's something we'll keep track of here this afternoon. For most of you, though, the problem won't be with thunderstorms. It'll be with some heat. We'll be in the 80s and 90s in much of eastern Colorado, and these numbers real close to record levels in some cases along the Arkansas River Valley. 60s and 70s, once you get up high enough, we'll be in the upper 70s to lower 80s for the southern valleys today. Around the Arkansas River, I do think that most of you will be up around 90 by lunchtime, so much of the afternoon will have you in the 90s. If you don't like the heat, you can head off into the higher terrain. Westcliff, for example, be in the upper 70s. I think all of you will notice, though, that the wind picks up this afternoon, and we could have some gusts around 25 miles an hour. And that's not just true for areas along the Arkansas River. We expect that here in the Pikes Peak region as well. A lot of 80s through Colorado Springs. Hanover could hit 90 today. Head up into Teller County. If you don't like the heat, we'll have temperatures mainly in the 70s, and I do not expect we'll have any thunderstorms today. Skycast shows those storms may be continuing for a while this evening over the southeastern corner of the state before they finally move off into Kansas and die out overnight. And then tomorrow looks a lot like today. Still breezy, still very warm, and for most of us, probably still dry. A weak front and upper level system will get close enough to the area on Tuesday to take the edge off of the heat and maybe bring us a quick shower or crack of thunder Tuesday afternoon, but we're talking about a 10% coverage, so I'm not making any promises. Wednesday and Thursday look dry. Another weak system could kick off a shower Friday afternoon, but again, we're not expecting much rain. We should cool off a little bit towards the end of the week with highs falling back into the 70s and lows maybe dipping back into the upper 40s by Friday night. Pueblo looks hot the next couple of days, breezy at times as well with mid-90s. Then we'll tail off a little bit into the 80s, so still very warm, but maybe not quite as hot as we're going to be the next couple of days. Overnight lows in the 50s. I do not think you'll have much chance for rain over the next 7 days. Canyon City, you also look dry for the next 7 days, falling from the 90s into the 80s for highs with overnight lows in the 50s. Periods of wind, probably the most significant weather outside of the fact it's going to be pretty darn toasty here the next couple of days. Mountain areas continuing to be beautifully, comfortably cool with highs in the 70s during the day, 60s as we head towards the end of the week, overnight lows in the 40s. Again, we could, and I stress could, have a little rain or some thunder around Tuesday. Then again, maybe Friday into Saturday. I'm not making any guarantees with that. But it's a change in the pattern, and we don't have the daily storms anymore. So we're kind of beating up on the monsoon flow now and getting into a more of a fallish pattern, although it's very warm, obviously.
Yeah, still pretty toasty out there. All right, Marty, thanks so much.
You're welcome.